Oh, Tashidele, hello everyone. I hope everyone is doing good. And welcome back to the Lojong session. So before we start the actual teaching, we take a few moments to do some practice, recitation of few mantras as like in the past weeks. Uh, Specifically, keeping all the suffering beings in our heart, especially those of who recently passed away, who is right this very moment, who are in great sufferings, due to natural disaster, due to war, due to famine, and due to diseases, and also dedicate to those people who are suffering from COVID, and also who are suffering from any form of other circumstances. uh, Especially if there are anyone in your family, or in your friend, among your friends, if there are, anyone who is going through a difficult time in life with health or any means. So, so together in this collective environment, we dedicate this practice for them. And through you, you dedicate to each and every one of those who need prayers. So that way, it's going to be very beneficial. So there are a lot of names. So I will not recite everyone because it's so long. So I will just recite a few of them. Those who are uh, those who are sick, like Madam Wong, Li Yu Hong, Nyon Dak Trung, Jimmy, uh, mm, Suji Harban, Nyon Tai Tam, Li Xiu Wei, Li Xiu Mei, then Chris Price, David, etc. Then there are people that who recently passed away. Nyon Tai Pung Ah, Lim Hai Tan, those diseased kittens, John Murray, M.K. Menon, Nyon Tai Kang, Nyon T.K. Uh, uh, yeah. Mm, Nyon Wen Nam, Kui Ben Zi, Nyon Tai Moi, Pursa Kai, Shang Shu Sheng, etc. So, and all the people's name that given to me, and also to all the gurus like Geshe Lama Konchok, and also people who are expecting prayer support from you. Okay, so do the visualization as similar like in the past. So before doing so, first set up or firm refuge in Guru Buddha Dharma in our heart. On the basis of that, then generate sincere compassion and love, altruistic attitude, to bring impact or benefit to rest of the numberless sentient beings within the six realms, in particularly and those who have a special karmic connection to you, and to offer temporary and ultimate benefit of happiness and freedom from any form of suffering. So dedicate this session, dedicate entire my life, and particularly this session, and especially this practice, thing like that. Sanje Chodan Zoje Jonala, Janjo Bado Dani Jazunje, Daje Jinzoje Bezonamje, Dola Benje Sanje Droba Jo, Sanje Chodan Zoje Jonala, Janjo Bado Dani Jazunje, Daje Jinzoje Bezonamje, Dola Benje Sanje Droba Sanje Chodan Zoje Jonala, Janjo Bado Dani Jazunje, Daje Jinzoje Bezonamje, Dola Benje Sanje Droba Jo. Kange doje ne zone dawa damje pambe jire dambe june denze be godam de la cha ze lo to nye nye je son do ju be la ma ze je ze jo kanje den de gue chana be mo den zen ja zo la so wa de zo da yue jing ye lo semje damje de wa dang de be ju dang dem bra ju je semje damje donga dang donga je ju dang tra wa ju je semje damje donga me be de wa dang mi tra wa ju je semje damje ni re cha dang ni dang tra be dang yo la ne bra ju ro je semje damje de wa dang de be ju dang dem bra ju je semje damje donga dang donga je ju dang tra wa ju semje damje donga me be de wa dang mi tra wa ju je semje damje ni re cha dang ni dang tra be dang yo la ne bra ju ro je semje damje de wa dang de be ju dang dem bra ju je semje damje donga dang donga je ju dang tra wa ju semje damje donga me be de wa dang mi tra wa ju je semje damje ni re cha dang ni dang tra be dang yo la ne bra ju ro je tu je go la nye be jum den de cha dong go lo je be nya bo na jen dang ga bo sang bo sang je dong ga la ga le de la de de song ba je re ze la cha ze lo om ma ni be me hu 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 om ma ni be me om mani be me hum 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 om mani be me om mani be me hum om mani be me hum om mani be me hum mani be me Omo mani be me omo ahun benzaran guru be ma se de 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 Omo benzaran guru bema sedi hu mime zewe derjen chere si teme jembe ombo jambe yanga dupo mali jumze zavenda kanji jembe zuje zonga loza dabe sha lazo wade mime zewe derjen chere si teme jembe ombo jambe yanga dupo mali jumze zavenda kanji jembe zuje zonga ba loza dabe sha lazo wade Mime zeve dirjen chere se teme jembe ombo jambe yanga dupo male jumse same da kaje jembe zuje zonga lozan tabe shala zowa de mime zeve dirjen chere se teme jembe ombo jambe yanga dupo male jumse same da kaje jembe zuje zonga ba lozan tabe shala zowa de mime zeve dirjen chere se teme jembe ombo jambe yanga dupo male jumse same da kaje jembe zuje zonga Lozanda beja la zoa de mime zeve terjen chere se teme jembe ombo jambe yang de pomale jonze zave da kanje jembe zuje zonga ba lozanda beja la zoa mime zeve terjen chere se teme jembe ombo jambe yang de pomale jonze zave da kanje jembe zuje zonga lozanda beja la zoa de Om dare do re zo 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 Dare do dare do re zo ha, 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 dare do dare do re zo. Dare do dare do re zo ha, dare do dare do re zo ha, dare do dare do re zo. Dare do dare do re zo daya tha be ganze maha be ganze ranza samon ga de so daya tha be ganze maha be ganze ranza samon ga de so daya tha be ganze maha be ganze ranza samon ga de so daya tha be ganze maha be Ranza samo gade zoha dayata. Dayada beganze maha beganze ranza samo gade zoha. Omo mare zema zoha, 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 omo mare zema zoha. Daje jawa damje da jebara yala zambe de dini keme ze jodo dobara lame jinje lo daja chungme chenzen do jo meje yanza zo semde semele juve jiba gule nyodo jabdo Gyawade nyudo dang waze chema dojo ne rowa chi chama le ba de ye za la go bara yo osem je ne ba chi nye ba nyudo ne le da jo jo do we ne ne ma le da do jo wa me bara yo pa ma sim je tam je de na den jo je nge do tam je da do dong wa da chan jo sem ba ga na su jo ba de da kun je ma lam do gyo ro je jam be ba we ji da jem ba da kun do zam bo de yan de xin ji Deda kunji cheso talo chi gyawa deda tamche rabdu ngo, desum chebe gyawa tamche de ngo wa kala chuto ngo ba de, daje chebe tsawa de kunja sambo cheche rabdu ngo wa rai ji, bedan zowa mi kebe, ishe nopo pasam chi, simche rewa kunzu be, samba cheche hendu be, daji yo. Okay, so thank you. Yeah, so we are going to start a new text, which is still within the collections of this great Lojong treatise. The text here what we're going to study, it is attributed to Maitri Yogic, one of very important teacher to Lama Atisha. The name of the title of the text is Melodies of an adamantine song, or a chanting meditation on mind training. Mm. Uh, and this is on the page. If you are using the collected volume, it's on the page 171. So, so from the title already, can get very much the meaning of what really I'm going to focus on this teaching. Um, um, it is, the teaching which is regarded as the Ahmadin song, or in another word, undestructible prayers. Undestructible aspirations, undestructible commitment, undestructible, um, uh, compassion, undestructible altruism. So it is very much um, put into melodies, and it is also practiced in through recitations, through chantings, through singings, So that's why it's called the melodies of an adamant song. Mm. or or it is the um, very powerful uh, mm, mind training technique, or very powerful mind training teaching, um, or uh, that that carry in meditation, uh, through reciting, this these verses, or these texts, or this composition, very much as like a daily sadhana. So this particular writing is very much like a daily sadhana to Maitri Yogic, mm, who is great Bodhisattva, whose very much attitude can sum up, through this teaching, whose day-to-day guide to his practice is this teaching is the very much of that. Uh, mm, and this teaching, or these prayers, is the one that which make who he is, and which makes that who he which makes he so important as one of the precious lineage guru uh, to great Lama Atisha, to whom we all know how precious he is, you know, how much sacrifices that he went through, to bless us with these precious teachings, in particularly, um, um, teachings like Lamrim, teachings like Lojongs, what we today all enjoy through the great traditions of Nalanda, great traditions of Tibetan Buddhism, yeah, in particularly the great, blessed tradition of Lojong is very much, root to Lama Adisha, and 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 Lama Adisha is very much nurtured by his precious guru Maitri Yogic, through these practices. So, so when you relate to this teaching, um, um, you see, it is a bit different than relating to other teachings. So even though any form of, even though, when we relate to any form of Buddha's teaching, is for us to gain realization, is for us to, gain the wisdom of learning, wisdom of contemplation, wisdom of meditation, then, realization on the stages of the path, bring about the transformation from negative to positive, untamed to tame, or unenlightened to enlightened. Uh, but but different teaching has a different kind of uh, ways to integrate into practice. But this particular teaching is very much very very straightforward. Not even need to do much of commentary, uh, and it is very straightforward. Um there's not much needed to be interpreted. There's no interpretive kind of writings are there. It's very very straightforward, and we just have to remember these lines, uh, and we have to take as a daily sadhana, like what the mighty yogi does and what Atisha did, following the footsteps of his guru. And so similar way, we as a student of the Dharma and practitioner and students of Lama Atisha and the Lojong teaching, mm, um, if able to, then this particular teaching is, good to memorize it, then recite, and you can make into uh, even nice tune. There's no particular fixed tune. You can make into nice melody tunes, and you can sing like a song. Then through that, try to touch your heart, and try to melt your heart from very concrete self-grasping and self-cherishing attitude, and all the sufferings and all the problems and all the hallucinations, and become so soft, so moist, so uh, you know how to say, yeah, so tame, so peaceful, like the heart of the Maitri Yogi, like the heart of the Adisha, like the heart of the Bodhisattvas. uh, if you cannot memorize, then you can at least, you can read. If those of as like saying, uh, the biography or the stories of the master, to be mm, to be practiced by the following, disciples, or the followers. So that way, how Maitri Yogic and Adisha, practice, these lines is very much, taking into daily sadhana recitations, or in a melodious, song, reciting it, and benefiting themselves, and able to bring who they are today. Similarly, we too can able to, we too try to practice the similar way. So that way, by following the ways and the tradition, there's a special benefit to receive, quicker realizations and quicker blessings of the practice and of the teaching to your heart. So that's some, a brief guideline to, how to relate, ourselves to this practice. Mhm. So then this teaching, comes in the very much in the 3 points. One is more of like a motivational point. Then main practice. The main essence of the Lojong practice. Then uh, the dedication aspect of the practice. Uh, Also, this teaching is very much mm, uh, kind of the commitment practice that Maitri Yogi made, and uh, confirming this practice as a valid practice, beneficial practice by the Buddha Maitreya. So it's also like the conversation between Maitri Yogic 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 that whose central deity or the Buddha or the central object of refuge been Maitreya, Buddha Maitreya. Because of that, this particular yogic's name given as a Maitreya yogic. So it's very much a conversation between this Maitreya yogin and Maitreya. Mm. Uh, then you know then the the rejoicing aspect of this profound teaching, passing down to the Adisha, Lama Adisha, then who blessed the earlier Tibetan Kadamba masters, and including the Panditas and Masitas of the India, and because of that, these teachings are available and reach up to today in our time. So it's a very, 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 very precious and blessed teaching. Mm, yeah. So so it says like this: Allah's to guide um, all beings who have been my parents. I will extract without exception the five poisons of each being by means of the five poisonous affliction present in me. Whatever virtues I may possess, such as an absence of attachment, I will distribute equally to all beings of the six realms. Mm. So the letter Allahs is very much expressions of amaze, expressions of deep respect or deep inspiration, So there's expressions of that. Then the verses here specifically emphasizing the main practice of Maitri Yogic, or the main theme of this particular conversation, which is the essence practice of the mind training Dharma, which is the tonglen practice, practice of taking and giving, tonglen practice. So to guide all beings who have been my parents, so in order, emphasizing the purposes, in order to guide all beings who have been my parents, all the numberless sentient beings, those of within the six realms, those are who already in the path, all the way up to residing, throughout the 10 bhumis, everyone, as long as beings who have not fully enlightened yet, to guide each and every one of those, in particularly those suffering sentient beings from the sixth realm, who each and every one of them have been your parent, have been our parent, have been our mother, father, have been our gurus, have been our children, our companions, our benefactors, etc., etc. Not only one time, but numberless times from beginningless lifetime. And this can be understood through understanding the karmic law, cause and effect, how the consciousness, in how the present life is formed, which without the third element, just simply the element of father mother is won't able to form a human existence. In order to form as a human existence, on top of the two major condition, the father mother substance, then we need the the continuation of the consciousness from the previous life, So in another word, the third most important element to actualize this precious human rebirth, that we need the continuum of the last moment of the consciousness of the past life, past lives, once continuum. So relating to understanding through this analogy or through this analysis, how the continuation of consciousness bring about existing into being, and how life come into existence, and how cause and effect, interdependent cause and effect exist. And based on that, then we can able to uh, establish definite existence of beginningless lifetime. So because of the existence of beginningless lifetime, then uh, we have taken a rebirth where needed to depend on uh, others condition, which are the like such as like father, mother. So that each and every single numberless sentient being, through that reason, they have been once parent. Like how this very lifetime's parents been so important to actualizing this precious human rebirth that what we have. Mhm. So in order to repay the kindness of these numberless sentient beings who have been so kind to us as like our present parents, guide all beings, who have been my parent, I will extract without exception the five poisonous of each being. The way to do that is to engage in the very straightforward and the essence of the Dharma, the essence of the Mayanic path, the essence of the Lojong, which is the tonglen, which is the um, taking and giving practice. I will extract without exception the five poisonous of each being. So what you are taking in order to elevate the suffering of sentient being, or uh, or in order by doing so that you able to purify your obscurations and accumulate extensive merit, so that one can able to actualize state of full enlightenment in the quickest way, so that one will have all the enlightened qualities to bring skillful benefits, absolute benefit to rest of the numberless sentient beings, by understanding entirety of the subtle karmic, dispositions of the numberless sentient being, uh, bringing bringing the ultimate purpose of anyone, who wish to attain the full enlightenment, which is to equip with all the best methods to liberate numberless sentient beings, and these are to be achieved through a very powerful practice such as tonglen. All the Dharma practices are great virtue, altruistic virtues are very powerful, but in particularly this specific altruistic virtue of tonglen practice of taking and giving, is one of the most powerful, most powerful for purification, most powerful in accumulation of merit, most powerful to progress in the altruistic path. You see, so therefore, here, Maitri Yogic, uh, what he does is, what he's expressing is, I will extract without exception of all the five personas of each beings. So the five poisonous, the attachment, anger, ignorance, jealousy, pride, Mm. So these are the root causes of the suffering of any living being. So he going to, uh, he aspire to take mm, um, all the sufferings, and it is causes the five poisonous without exception, without bias, or without kind of leaving out, just taking partially, not like that, taking entirety of the causes, which are the five poisonous defilements or five poisonous delusions, onto himself, you know. So this is the practice of taking. Then by means of five poisonous affliction, present in me. So this is what it meant. Then whatever virtues I may possess, such as absence of attachment, I will distribute equally to all beings of six realm. Mhm. Whatever virtue, from the tiniest virtues, uh, to all the way to the altruistic virtues, or such as the virtues of tonglen practice. In another word, any form of um, virtuous cultivation, those are characterized by the absence of attachment, absence of attachment, and the rest of the delusion. Virtues means any thought, any cultivation of thought which is absence of delusion like attachment, are called the virtues. you know any actions of verbal speech, any actions of physical action are infused by the attitude of non-attachment and non-rest of the other delusions are called virtues. And the virtues are the causes of happiness. Non-virtues are the causes of suffering. So all these virtues, he's going to distribute. He's going to distribute. He's going to dedicate um, equally to each and every single numberless sentient beings. Um, accordingly in their needs. Those who are in the three lower realms. He will distribute, or he dedicate all the virtues as a causes to elevate suffering of the three lower realm and abide them into higher realm. Those who are already in the higher realm, like in the human realm, there are tremendous, sufferings of the human realm. Liberate them best to enlightenment. If not, then at least to like such as the pure realms. Those who are not, not enter into the path, then dedicate the virtues to be the condition to cause them to enter into the path. Those who are in the ordinary path, then dedicate these virtues to be the condition to, progress into the Arya beings path. Those who are in the first Bhumi's path, then, condition to progress into the second, third, all the way up to 10 Bhumis. Those who are in the 10 Bhumis stages of the path, then you dedicate these virtues uh, to actualize part of the normal learning, or to actualize the state of full enlightenment. So this is what Maitri Yogi is expressing. I will distribute equally to all beings of the six realms. So as I mentioned before, the virtue, like what Nagarjuna's precious Galen says, non-desire, non-hatred, non-ignorant, and the actions, they are virtues. So how to define virtues? So we can define virtues, uh, any action that is absent of negative emotions, negative emotions or negative harmful actions, and you can define that as virtues. And all those virtues, uh, like Maitri Yogi, we too can dedicate to the well-being of rest of the numberless sentient beings. Like such like at the beginning of this teaching, we dedicated practice of mantra recitations, to all sentient beings, in particular those who are especially suffering, especially those who have a special karmic affinity with each and individual of us. Also these are the similar practice what Mighty Yogi is expressing here. It's a tonglen practice. And it's a giving practice. And on top of that, if you can add, if you're able to, if you can manage with your strength of heart, then you can do the land, taking practice also, not just giving but taking practice also, like how the Maitri Yogi did. You take the suffering of your loved ones, suffering of the humanity, suffering of all the sentient beings, and including the obstacles, on the stages of the path. uh, like an example, those who are in the nirvana, in peace, who is so essential to enter into the mining path. Even the nirvana, the one pointed concentration, nirvana peace also become an obstacle. So even that, taking onto you and uh, awaken, condition to awaken those who are in the nirvana and peace, to progress into the altruistic path. And another example, like those who are in the 10 bhumis, who are just waiting to receive the four great initiations. In earlier part in the training, they never enter into tantra, and they strictly follow the sutric path, and they're able to reach to the 10 bhumi. But one condition that which is you know which make unable, the 10 bhumi bodhisattvas to actualize the full enlightenment, then you dedicate the merit, to condition to, actualize, um, um, to actualize the four initiations, and then within in a straight away, to actualize the state of the Dharmakaya. So I'm just giving, varieties of examples like that, So if we have time, then we can do hours of meditations. You can do, dedication. You can do tonglen, uh, you know, accordingly to each of the six realms and each of the, you know, um, you know, each of the areas that the different beings, need help, or positive conditions for their well-being. So you can do such extensive, tonglen meditation like that. Mhm. So so this verse, yeah. So in short, taking all mother sentient beings suffering and its causes, and giving, all the virtues which are the causes of happiness, to all sentient beings. One of the most important element is to do without any bias, you know, uh, without any um, uh, discriminations, from your heart. So then that makes the practice so powerful and so pure like that. So then second verse, using the painful fruits of my karma, such as sickness and so on, I will extract all similar sufferings of sentient being. Whatever joy and benefit I may possess, such as absence of illness, I will distribute equally to all beings of the six realms. So we should also think like that. Uh, each and every one of us, some way, we have, just matter of degree, we have different form of uh, uh, ripening karma in our mind, in our body, that very clear in our day-to-day life. Sometimes we depressed, sometimes we feel sad, sometimes we feel hurt, sometimes physical, pain, back pain, buttock pain, headache, etc., etc. All these are called the ripening karma, or the painful fruits of our past karma. Any form of the sicknesses that we are going through, and any form, and so on, obstacles, not getting what we want, and losing, those we really treasure them, etc. We are full of examples of misfortunes in our life. Nobody want to get old. We are getting older each moment. No one to get closer to, death. Everyone is like kind of like a rolling a big rock from the very steep mountain. Like our life is rolling towards the, death. So who want that? But it is happening. Then um, obviously, uh, just carrying this samsaric aggregate is the painful, result of the past karma and delusion, which is the contaminated aggregates, which is called samsara. Samsara means pain. So this samsaric existence means, painful fruit or painful result of our past karma. Mm. Uh, so so using this samsaric aggregates and all the misfortunes that we are going through, what we have, I will extract all similar suffering of sentient beings. So instead of feeling miserable on this, rather take the full opportunity that uh, understanding rest of the other sentient beings, have, if not more, no less, similar kind of, at least similar kind of problems and sufferings, misfortunes they experience. And I'm going to take everything upon my this contaminated existence, I'm going to take everything, onto uh, my samsaric existence. And most of all, you are taking on to the root cause of all these problems, all these sufferings, which is the self-cherishing and self-grasping attitude. You see, so if our heart can afford, if our practice is stable, you know, uh, and in particularly those who already achieve, higher grounds of the Bodhisattva's path, then literally, can take even the physical sufferings onto them. Uh, but at this stage, because of, because of, lacking of merit, lacking of realizations, Even we wish also, it cannot ripen upon our body. But by doing tonglen practice, by taking all other suffering onto you, all other problem onto you, it helps to, in fact, purify the suffering in us and causes suffering in us and liberate us, from the problems, from the sufferings, purify all the sufferings and it causes, and gradually we will be fully liberated, from there. So these are the impact of this practice, So most importantly, all these practices are done in your attitude, and you live a life in that attitude, and it's a living practice, it's a living practice. uh, and most importantly, the target is the root cause of the or samsara, root cause of problem, self-grasping, self-cherishing attitude. So you take on all these problems and sufferings of others onto self-grasping, self-cherishing attitude. Then whatever joy and benefit that I may possess, such as absence of illness, even the slightest form of suffering or pain, suffering of change, uh, uh, and all the virtues, all the sensual, even though not true happiness, but even the sensual pleasures, then pleasures and happiness that you achieve through samadhi, like concentration, like shamatha meditation, through your practice, through your virtuous accumulation, then we actualize, genuine sense of fulfillment, satisfaction that is so peaceful, so joyful in your heart, all those things. You give or you distribute equally to all beings of the six realms, hell, uh, hungry ghosts, animal, human, god, demigod. You can distribute each and every single numberless sentient beings. Mm, so so you can, recite the prayer exactly as it is, and reflect on the meaning exactly as it is. And the only thing different is that you are expressing this, not reciting prayers of somebody. You are, these prayers are yours. You are saying this. You are meaning this. You really mean it. When you recite it, then just by that, that the benefit of transformation, benefit of purification, benefit of accumulation of merit, all this happens to you. This is how mighty yogi practice. Others shall follow the footstep, and they have achieved all the benefits. So we can do like that. Then following verse: if I do this, what occasion is there for me, even for a single instant, to wander aimlessly in these oceans of self-existence? Yet until I have attained full enlightenment, whatever class of the five poisons and their fruit may lie in store, I will exhaust entirely in the very lifetime. Uh, so when we practice, how when we practice the attitude and live in the practice of the earlier two verses, exactly like the earlier two verses, in those or in another word, if we are able to live a life in the tonglen practice, like how it expressed, how it taught in the two earlier verses, then there's not even a one single moment, one single occasion, one single moment in day-to-day life, um, that is meaningless in our life. Even if we exist, even we remain, in the oceans of samsara for eons of lifetime, but if we remain in this attitude, our life in the oceans of samsara, there's not even a one moment can find meaningless. Our life become meaningful even if we are in samsara. Mm, mm. At this very moment, we are living in the oceans of silent existence, oceans of silent existence. Uh, mm, uh, the, the samsara itself is meaningless. Samsara itself is a misery, you see. But if our attitude is developed in tonglen practice, as we discussed earlier, then every single moment of even this samsaric existence become meaningful. Every single moment is meaningful. You cannot find even one moment is no meaning there. So this is such a great statement. If we do this, what vocation is there for me, even for a single instant, to wander aimlessly in the ocean of silent existence. You see, yet until I have attained the full enlightenment. Mm, so so you see, so until you achieve a state of full enlightenment, you know, whatever suffering and causes of suffering, such as the five poisonous delusions that one may have, and what rest of the other sentient being have taken upon yourself, and uh, through the experience of samsara, you exhaust it, completely within this very samsaric lifetime. You know, so this now you can relate to ourselves. You see, whatever remaining, samsaric life that we may have, at least we know that this very life, this very moment, uh, you know, uh, I have not enlightened. I'm still, samsaric person. I carry samsaric aggregates, and samsaric aggregates are in the nature of suffering, And not only that, I do experience in moment to moment suffering of change, and I do also experience, suffering of pain, and I take the opportunity of this different form of suffering, different form of ups and downs in life as an opportunity to purify entirety of one's own negativities of the past. You know, uh, um, then on top of that, also take the opportunity to exhaust or to purify rest of the numberless sentient beings suffering by taking upon yourself. So when your samsara come to exhaustion, entire numberless sentient being samsara also comes to end. You see. So, so therefore, for a Bodhisattva practitioner, for the Lojong practitioner, whenever they go through suffering, they find meaning in it. Whenever they go through problem, they find meaning in it. Because they find the meaning of their past negative karma is purifying. You see. Uh, 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 they, at the same time, they can engage in the practice in the real time of taking other suffering onto yourself, because you with the feeling, because you are in pain, you are in trouble, you are in difficult, so you can mean it, uh, you know that how other sentient beings are suffering. So by understanding the intensity of the sufferings, taking your own suffering as example into others, then generating, as intense compassion as possible, intense love as possible, intense service as possible, intense any form of virtues, uh, either through dedication from your heart, or either, if able to, then by yourself engaging in action, alleviating suffering in others, like those who work in like palliative care, like those who work in hospital, like nurses, uh, you know, uh, uh, the hospice cares, or anyone in the family that who are caring for sick family members, caring for family member who are in financial troubles, who are in relationship trouble, who are in health troubles. You are directly engaging to alleviate their suffering, directly engaging to comfort them, directly engaging in service to condition, to comfort, and by that you help to ease their pain, their worries, their fear, suffering, etc. So you see, so for bodhisattvas like Maitri Yogic, Atisha, as expressed in these verses, they find meaning in it. Rather, they, whenever they got into trouble, whenever their family members in trouble, they don't depress, they don't get lost. They don't experience the loss. They don't experience helpless. Rather they wake up in the Dharma wisdom, Dharma wisdom of tong practice. like the attitude what he are teaching, then you do your best in real time action in the service to help to elevate the suffering, or if not, then at least from your heart, because there's no doubt, unless you are enlightened, unless you are in liberation, otherwise no doubt that we have suffering, as I mentioned before, the suffering, the three types of suffering, the pervasive compounded suffering. Our ordinary mind may not feel as a suffering, but that itself is the main suffering. So you see, as long as we are carrying samsaric aggregate, we are suffering, you see. So just simply understanding that we are samsaric phenomena, samsaric person, that alone is good enough, that we have something to take upon to purify on behalf of any rest of the other sentient beings. In particularly, so effective to do this for your loved one, to whom like you have a special karmic connection, beings that who come in your life, is specifically like a children, like a parent, like a partner, etc., etc. You see, like a guru and disciple, like coming together as a community, at the same neighborhood. All this has a reason. The reason is played by karma. Because of karma, that you come together, you know each other, you become family member, etc. You see, so because of that, whenever you do, such tonglen practices in relation to this special karmic affiliated beings, it becomes so effective. Even though your practice is non-biased, as mentioned before, non-biased, to all sentient beings, but you have a special responsibility because of the special karmic connection, that you can dedicate specifically, after dedicating for all sentient beings, you can dedicate specifically to those karmic affiliated beings, and they get greater benefit compared to rest of the other sentient beings. So that could be understand even past 1,000 Buddhas, you see, past numberless Buddhas that came to existence, and from the 1,000 fortunate Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha, and three other fortunate Buddhas came into existence. And even our historical Shakyamuni Buddha, he has all the ability of enlightened quality, but certain being get benefited, and certain being still in samsara. So certain being get benefited or even enlightened. Some attain arhatship, uh, and some only by now start to meet his dharma, like ourselves. Yeah, you see. And some, they are totally even not known about Buddha dharma, you see. But Buddha's compassion, Buddha's blessing is equal to everybody. But because of this special karmic connection, some get closer to him, some still stay afar. So so therefore, as I mentioned before, you see, just acknowledge that I am as a samsaric being. Usually, to acknowledge that I'm samsaric being is very depressing. It's like kind of I'm a suffering person. But now for the practice of Lojong, but practice of Tonglen, I'm as a samsaric person. It's like kind of like you spotted a wish fulfilling gem, where you can able to utilize that to fulfill your wishes, to eradicate and purify your own karma, your own suffering. At the same time, you're able to purify, condition to purify and benefit your loved one and rest of the sentient being. You see. So on top of that, if you are experiencing even more grosser, easier to understanding suffering, like suffering of change, more than that, if you are going through some kind of pain, suffering of pain, stomach pain or whatever, any obvious suffering is going on, then without any needed to have a deeper thinking, deeper understanding of suffering, because it is so painful, it is so suffering, isn't it? So for Lojong practitioner, for Tonglen practitioner, these are like a finding a wish fulfilling gem. The moment you get stomach pain, you don't depress. The moment someone hear that I got cancer, that practitioner don't depress. That practitioner don't feel sad. Don't feel lost. Rather felt like, oh, I found like wish fulfilling gem. Yeah, I saw that in my late master, like Geshe Lama Konchok, when he was uh, bedridden, because of the very very extensive operation, cancer operation. Even the first day that when he went, uh, after he went operation, when he come out, he feel that I'm so fortunate that I get opportunity to go through this unbelievable pain, you know, been praying, been expressing Tonglen practice, throughout the life. But this is the time that felt truly genuine, sincerely. You really mean it because you go through the most painful stage, You see, then he left about about 1 year, he after the operation, he stay about 1 year, and every day there's degenerating his health, but then you can see very clearly, he's like becoming happier and happier, and express now and then expresses how fortunate, and you can see some chemotherapy, all this, you can see, nausea, and that all sort of difficulties, but you can see very clearly from this practitioner that doing intense in the Tonglen practice, is really expressing with the word and with the being, and being there, vivid, you can directly witness, how they are living in the practice, like totally in the peace, you know, totally in the peace, and each and every opportunity express the gratitude that I get chance to go through this, you see, so that I mean it, taking all others suffering, sentient suffering onto myself, then you have a confident of whole life you dedicated in virtue, you see, then you have a like you have abundance of resources of virtue to dedicate, give to the sentient being, dedicate to the sentient being, so that's how this great practitioner, enjoy and feel full of meaning in troubles, in sufferings, this is what he's talking about, so that way, what is the benefit? Or when that very intense problems comes in our way, very intense suffering comes in our way, then because of the intensity of your dedication in practice, your concentration in even in that uh, uh, very very challenging moment, the practice becomes so powerful that more than any other time, the purification take place in a most effective most effective practice of purification take place, most effective practice of accumulation of merits happens, you see, so so like that, so this is what is saying, you see. uh, Make sure that your what's say, I will exhaust entirely in this very lifetime, entirely. So before the death comes, before I go to next life, I will make sure to purify entirety of karma, entirety of the uh, you know um, the result of the past karma by ripening on the samsaric experiences that what I'm going through now, like such as sickness. Mm, so that when I discard these contaminated physical aggregates, since my mind will be completely purified, you know uh, my next existence will be in liberation, my next existence will be in dharmakaya, my next existence will be beyond samsara, you know to my next existence will be, achieving immortal death, immortal life, you see. So this is how Lojong practitioner does, you see. So you see. mm, so I will recite again, so this to remember. If I do this, what occasion is there for me, even for a single instant, to wander aimlessly in the oceans of silent existence when you practice Tonglen? Yet, until I have attained the full enlightenment, um, whatever classes of five poisonous their fruit may lies in store, I will exhaust entirely in this very lifetime. In this very lifetime, so like that. Then following verse, I will extract them this very year, this very month. I will exhaust them this very day and this very instant. I will seek the means to cut even the thread of the minor sufferings. Oh, mighty yogi, make sure that your mind become tamed. You see, so here I say, oh, mighty yogi. Now you apply to yourself. Oh, me. You can express your own name. You see, so here the mighty yogi himself is expressing that. Not only make it so firm conviction and determination and a commitment to purify entirety of karma and suffering within this very lifetime. Now, this coming words make it even more targeted, ambition, more targeted objective of your life and your practice. Uh, you see, all the sufferings of the entire numberless sentient beings, all the negativities of your own past karma, not just kind of gradually you're going to take it, you know, uh, in many lifetimes later or next year. No, it's not like that. You should express that, I will take them in this very year, and not only that, this very month, you know, and this very moment. Then I will completely exhaust it, in this very cushion, in this very instant, in this very moment. I will purify entirety of the entire numberless sentient beings, sufferings. It is causes the 5% delusions, my own karma, my own delusions. In this very instant. Mm, uh, one should express uh, the the practice of Tonglen, to achieve the result in this very instant. So the more the concentrate, the more the targeted it become, um, your concentration will be sharper. You truly able to mean it. So that way, then all the causes and conditions of the antidote will be actualized, and that way, and you're able to bring about purification, you know so effectively. It can even be so powerful that uh, literally can able to purify in this very moment. So many past great masidas, great panditas, through such kind of practices, within very 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 uh, short period of time, they have actualized full enlightenment. And one of the greatest example is like Milarepa, whose life has been so negative, who caused so many people's life, who practice black magic, etc., whose life is like terrible. But then because of engaging into a very intense, the Mayanic Dharma, such as Lojong, uh, uh, whether using the tantric ways or the sutric way, whatever it is, the essence practice is the altruistic practice, which is comes to the Lojong practice. Through that, through this kind of ambition, this kind of intensity in practice, within that very short lifetime, he have actualized full enlightenment. Then similar goes to like Maitri Yogi, Adisha. They are the great example. You see. Mhm. So then I will seek the means to cut even the thread of the minor sufferings. Uh, um, so this can be understand that you purify so much karma, but then you're able to be born as a god, you're able to be born as a human being, next life, but still under the influence of karma. You see, so that is not good enough. Such an intense practitioner like a Lojong, uh, in such a way, then uh, even the slightest kind of threat to be bounded by karma also should be purified. Making sure, in other words, making sure through this practice, within this very lifetime, within this very moment, when you have the full practice of Tonglen practice or Lojong practice, make sure that entirety of the karma purified, and next rebirth, without any doubt, you have actualized the liberation. So that's what it means. So, oh, Maitri Yogi, make sure that your mind become trained. So, mm, he's expressing to him, express to himself that I will make sure I make sure that I get it done. When your mind is trained means, you're able to transform your delusions into wisdom. You see, delusions into altruism. You see, like such as ignoring into a wisdom of emptiness. Best ignoring into wisdom of dharmakaya. Then self-cherishing attitude into a attitude of bodhicitta. Uh, Best transform into a train into a Buddha's omniscient attitudes. You see, so this is what I'm talking about. So when we relate to ourselves, while we are chanting this, so instead of saying "Oh Maitri Yogi," then you call your name. Like or let's say Tenzin Zopa. Make sure that your mind become trained. Like really talk to yourself. Be so determined like that. Then the following verse is, I, Maitri Yogi, regularly recite this song. So Maitri Yogi is um, saying this. I, Maitri Yogi, recite this song. Regularly recite this song, like how we do daily practices, is it daily sadhana or mantra practices, like that. You see, so this is something that we can learn. Take all those above verses as how Maitri Yogi did. We too memorize, or at least read, if not at least read carefully and extract the meaning of each verse. Then you daily reflect onto it. Regularly recite this song, wherein loving kindness, compassion, and awakening mind are sung as a diamond song. You call it as a diamond song. It's diamond song here referring is your main voice. Diamond song, meaning this particular prayers or this particular voice is your main voice, your ultimate voice. Your consistent uh, you know chanting expression, voice. So this is what I mean, diamond song. uh, mm, or also can be understand um, that the ultimate voice, ultimate expression. There's no mistake, there's no limitation. It is ultimate. You can also understand. So these verses that the Maitri Yogi recited, the content, the meaning, the practice is essence, is ultimate. There's nothing is missing there. Uh, Nothing is not enough there. So therefore, it's a diamond song, or diamond prayers, like that. A diamond song, and on one occasion, um, uh, mm, so this is the encounterance to Maitri Yogi, um, and and one occasion near the river Ganges, mm, in the central India. Uh, then he met Bhagavan Maitreya, the embodiment of the great compassion, appear in front of a king and approach me. So Bhagavan, referring to Buddha. So Maitreya is a love. So Maitreya is talking about Maitreya Buddha. Mm, Appear Maitreya Buddha, who is embodiment of great compassion. Uh, who appear in the form of a king, in the form of a king in the form of one of the king, uh, then approach Maitri Yogi. Mm. And he then uttered the following line. So he then uh, said, the following verses, following line to Maitri Yogi. So, in other words, when Maitri Yogi was um, singing, this diamond song, near the Ganges River with intense contemplation or intense meditation, then uh, uh, um, because of the sincerity of the practice, uh, because of the benefit of the practice, then without any choice, uh, you know, he have accumulated all the meritorious conducive conditions to be able to have a direct vision of the Buddha Maitreya, his main guru, his main deity, his main Buddha. He has been uh, uh, he has been accumulating merit, purifying purifying negativities, to be able to achieve the state of Maitreya Buddha. To be able to relate to Maitreya Buddha directly. So this is exactly that happened. Through this practice, he able to see Maitreya Buddha directly. Near the Ganges River while he was reciting it. So similar way, uh, you know. So this practice, we too take account to ourselves. Then we make a strong wishes and prayers, under the blessing of under the blessing of firm refuge and firm devotion to your ultimate guru, or your meditational deity. Hmm? Then sincerely you dissolve into a very dedicated, concentrated practice. Then that way, similar like what happened to Maitri Yogi, it purifies our mind, purifies our karma, accumulates so much merit. We become a pure vessel, conditioned vessel to able to um, vision our own deities directly. Vision, to receive blessings, more effectively from our gurus and the deities. So so this receiving blessings from our guru and having direct visions with our meditational deities, it requires immense of purification practice and immense accumulation of merit. And having visions of our meditational deity is one of a very clear sign that how high level of practices that you have achieved. And this can be understood through all the histories of the past practitioners, like including Lama Tsongkhapa and the rest of the Panditas, the Masidas. Mm, Whenever their merit reach in a very high peak, or whenever they achieve great purification, through intense practices, then that they have a direct visions to direct visions of their meditational deities, and they really progress swiftly to the higher levels of the practice, like Lama Tsongkhapa, after engaging in the extensive purification practice of the preliminary, like mandala offering, prostrations, etc. Then after that, then he has a direct vision with the Manjushri. Then Manjushri, he had a direct communication with Manjushri. Then after that, then without delaying, he have realized emptiness directly, like that. So we are, you know, uh, we are also in the position that we desperately, uh, you know, need to have a kind of like kind of like a very powerful conditions, like a kick, powerful conditions in our journey, our spiritual journey, to 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 speed up, our practices. If at this moment, if you are just, if you are learning emptiness, if you understand well, but then there's no realization even at conceptual level, then meaning we need to practice harder, accumulate more merit, purify more karma, using this kind of practices. Uh, then that way, then we able to progress to realize emptiness, like non-conceptual, direct emptiness realizations, or progress on our stages to path, etc. So all these teachings, not just like a reading history, we have to relate to ourselves, and we try to integrate into our practice in taking this as an example, and we try to imitate like that, meaning we try to practice similar way, you see. So that way, then we receive benefit. Oh, so then this is the song that I was this is the word that Maitreya, Bhagavan Maitreya or the Buddha Maitreya have said to the Maitreya yogic, after hearing what Maitreya yogic is, singing or chanting and reflecting and practicing the earlier verses. So it says like this: this song that dispel, this song that dispel the suffering of the lower realms through mere hearing. So this song, so here it said this song is referring to the Maitreya yogics, the earlier verses that he's singing, So Buddha Maitreya, Buddha Maitreya is enlightened, isn't it? Maitreya yogi is still training on the path. So Maitreya yogi is still, yes, he's practicing very diligently, firmly, but still his level is not as omniscient, So there's also a lot of doubts, a lot of uncertainty, etc., etc. Similarly, like us, we may learn a lot, but and also we may have a guidance from our gurus, how to practice, but then along the way, we have, even though we know and we have things to refer like text, etc., but still, many area we encounter doubts, encounter limitations, and uh, um, yeah, so mainly the doubt, losing convictions, etc., you see. So so that's the time that, where we relate to the deities, to bless us, and this is exactly happened to happened to Maitreya yogic. So this word from the Maitreya Buddha is to dispel the doubts in Maitreya yogi's practice, emphasizing the characteristics and the benefit of the Maitreya yogi's song. So in short, asking Maitreya yogi to continue to practice that way. This is the correct Dharma. This is the ultimate practice. This is so beneficial to rest of the numberless sentient beings. So very much kind of giving endorsement. So this song that dispel the suffering of the lower realm, through mere hearing. So that much power. So this song that cuts down the tree of silent existence through mere reflection, that much power. This song that swiftly grant enlightenment through mere meditation, wondrous, wondrous indeed, is the song of love, compassion, and awakening mind. So that much essence. Though the five poisonous afflictions must be destroyed as an enemy, amazing indeed that you still uphold them in your heart. Though sickness and sufferings are hard to endure in all respect, amazing indeed is your current way of being. So Maitreya Yogis is still then samsaric being. He is still carrying this body that what we carry, you see, the mind that what we carry, therefore there's a lot of experience of all kind of sufferings and challenges, but still, he really um, never get distracted by that, rather, rather um, he, amazingly, he uh, uh, able to stay focused on, on working for the well-being of sentient beings, like that, you see. And delusions, the afflictions are, truly it is destructive, but then amazing that, he still uphold the practice of selflessness, practice of cherishing the well-being of others as dear in his heart, So Maitri is endorsing him, telling him, how great practitioner you are, how well practicing you are, So then the following words: who would not find it hard to wander selflessly through samsara? You see, by discarding self-interest and embracing others' well-being. So it's really, offering such a praise. So to take others' misfortune upon oneself without being tied by thoughts of self-interest, even for instant in sublime, indeed. So it's really Maitreya uh, acknowledging, how great practitioner he is, how true Lojong practitioner he is, and how artistic practitioner he is, endorsing that his practice is pure, Bodhisattva's conduct, Mm, mm, mm. Though the Mahayana scriptures are numberless, not even an atom-sized portion is missing from this teaching, you know. Uh, so these diamond songs of yours, O yogi, whether it heard, reflect upon, expounded, or meditated upon, it's a sublime refuge for the entire world, including the gods. So in the Mahayanic, when you study Mahayanic Dharma, like sutras and tantras, in the scriptures are numberless uh, different ways and methods, treatises and techniques and teachings, numberless out there, but but these few verses that you have sung, the Maitreya Yogic, sang, earlier verses, before we already did, uh, not even one single portion is missing from it, as we as I mentioned before, the meaning of diamond song, you see. So your song is a truly a diamond song, diamond teaching, diamond aspiration, diamond uh, instruction, diamond practice, you see. So this is a diamond song of yours, yogi, So Maitreya Buddha saying this to, O yogi, so Maitreya yogi. So this is a diamond song of yours. So entire Dharma is completed in it. Whether it is so therefore, so this is so precious, in a complete is diamond teaching or diamond dharma, then just simply by hearing and reflecting on it and teaching, learning, expound it, and meditate upon it, uh, it will serve as a ultimate refuge to the entire world, no question about, serve as a refuge to the humans and the three lower realms and the demigods. It will serve even refuge to the gods and those, those who are in the higher paths, those who are already in the higher realms and higher paths, including in the state of gods, so including gods here, you can also understand the gods within the 60 realms. Gods also can be understood that those who are, beyond ordinary realm, beyond ordinary um, realm is beyond the samsaric being, beyond the 60 realms being. Also can understand uh, those Arya beings who are beyond the ordinary path, those who are in the higher paths, so in short, this teaching, this practice, Maitreya Buddha telling Maitreya Yogi is that it will benefit everybody. It will benefit anyone that who is pursuing enlightenment. Everyone will be benefited. This is the diamond song, diamond practice, the essence, complete. So wondrous indeed that the innermost essence of the mind of the Buddha of the 10 direction shine within you. Mm, uh, so therefore, practitioner, mm, who preserving this, innermost essence of uh, um, um, the essence of the mind training, or the essence of the altruistic and altruistic mind, the tonglen practice, the Lojong mind training tonglen practice, uh, of the Buddha of the 10 direction, mm, uh, Dharma, that which is, the wonders indeed that the innermost essence of the mind of the Buddha of the 10 direction shine within you. Through this teaching, entire 10 direction Buddha's purpose is, emphasized within your song, within this song. Mm? All the blessings of the 10 direction Buddhas, contained within these songs, within this practice. Uh, all the blessings of the 10 direction Buddha is shine in this practice, shine within your practice, like that. Oh, then it says, as Maitreya uttered this line in response to the word of the diamond song, Maitreya yogic experienced great uh, ecstasy with the note of his doubt undone. He entered the great battle of the heroic ones, Keho. So, uh, so Maitreya Buddha um, emphasized, these words in response to the Maitreya Yogic's, diamond song, as I mentioned before, to validate, the Maitreya Yogic song as a ultimate Dharma, complete Dharma, perfected Dharma, most beneficial Dharma, most beneficial practice. After Maitreya Yogi hear direct word from the Maitreya Buddha, uh, as as said before, and then Maitreya Yogi experience, great inner joy. Is is a deep, innate joy to hearing that. And after hearing this, um, whatever, doubt that he may have in relation to what he's practicing, uh, or entire confusion in relation to the path to enlightenment is completely cleared. He was completely given a clear direction, to stick with this practice without any doubt that will actualize the ultimate goal of his own benefit, the enlightenment, which is also the benefit of numberless sentient beings. Without any doubt, all those whatever doubt that he may have completely cleared by the word of the Maitreya. Mm. Then from that onward, the Maitreya Yogic, enter in a great battle of heroic ones. Means he then after that, he completely engaged into the intense, Bodhisattva's conduct. He lived in the life of intense Bodhisattva's conduct. So from there, then he, you know, um, traveled through the such as 5 paths and 10 grounds, then actualize, no doubt, full enlightenment. So Keho is very much of uh, amaze, kind of um, mm, uh, like kind of rejoice, kind of confirmation, kind of, uh, the expressions of like, definite in the direction, etc. Is something like that. Yeah. So today I will stop here. Then remaining, yeah, we will do next class. Okay. So thank you very much. Yeah. So so yeah. Uh, uh, you try to read, this text. Um, when you read, uh, you will be even much more clearer. Just now the class, that I talk too much until become very messy. But when you read by yourself, then you will make it so unbelievable of this teaching. Then, as I mentioned before, if possible, memorize it. Then recite daily. Then take this as an essence of your Dharma practice. Or essence, the sadhana that which day-to-day remind to live a life like the great Bodhisattva. Um, if you are unable to memorize and to try to read, as many times as possible, whenever it's possible, or just summarize in understanding in the teachings of Tonglen. Just this name Tonglen. Practice of taking and giving. Tonglen. Just reminded this word. Chant this word again and again, and in particularly when we are going through difficult times, sufferings, yourself, your loved ones. When you see suffering in the world, they immediately remember Tonglen, Tonglen practice to take into account and try to practice diligently, and that really will, help to protect our heart from further suffering. Not only that, you have to purify the suffering environment, suffering mind, etc., and also able to contribute, beneficial condition to elevate suffering in others. So like that. So without any doubt, we accumulate vast merit from the Dharma discourse, in particularly, to able to hear the direct words through this teaching, through this texts, the direct words of the Buddha Maitreya, the Maitreya Yogic, the essence practice of Adisha. How fortunate we are. So whatever merit that we accumulate collectively, individually, all the merits of the three times Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Gurus, may this merit be complete cause for numberless sentient beings to be free from oceans of samsaric suffering. It is causes the delusion, karma, actualize in the state of peerless happiness all the way up to enlightenment accordingly. May this collective merit of ours be a complete cause, these pandemics to be overcome, or the cure be effective. Then all the negative energy, from the suffering that going around in the world, including this pandemic, natural disasters, then diseases, war, all this negative energy, negative karma, negative consequences to be purified. May this collective merit be complete cause, and anyone who passed away, in particular in the last 49 days, be freed from suffering of hell, suffering of death, suffering of intermediate state, suffering of rebirth, and actualize higher rebirth in the Pure Land, and their actualized state of full enlightenment within that very lifetime. May this collective merit be a complete cause, or anyone that who, those mentioned names and those people's name that given to me, to our gurus, and the names that you have, and uh, families and friends that you know that who are in suffering from sickness, financial relationship, uh, whatever difficulty that they may be going through. May our collective merit be complete cause, for them to overcome all those challenges and actualize peace and happiness and meaning of life accordingly. May this collective merit be complete cause, all the world leaders, leaders of the organizations, and leaders of the family, and yourself who lead your life, be free from negative emotions. Mm. Then, filled with wisdom of selfless, attitude of loving kindness, compassion, so that anyone under their leadership can able to enjoy peace and happiness and virtue. May this collective merit of ours be complete cause for all the virtuous institutions like monasteries and nunneries and dharma centers, including your uh, meditation cushion, meditation room, prayer room, your home, etc., where you live as a practitioner, uh, or wherever you travel as a practitioner. Overcome all the inner outer secret obstacles, actualize all the conducive conditions to preserve the Dharma and virtue perfectly in learning, and actualizing, realization of the stages of the path. All the beneficial beings like His Holiness Dalai Lama, Geshe Lama Konchok, all your spiritual gurus, and yourself, your family members, always enjoy good health, long life, and fulfill all your aspirations accordingly. Then may this quality merit be a complete cause for each and every one of us, able to have the courage, mindfulness, merit to be able to practice just like the Maitri Yogi, Lama Adisha, and able to be, you know, pleased by our precious gurus and idams, like how Maitri Yogi is pleased by his guru, the Maitreya Buddha. May we too able to experience a similar way. The dedicate ourselves, the merit and the purpose that we dedicate, all lies in the nature of emptiness, all lies in the nature of interdependent arising. So therefore, whatever prayers, dedications, accumulations of merits and dharma that we did, never to be wasted. You will actualize when all the conducive conditions are ripened. So having full faith and conviction in that, then I will recite some prayers, dedication prayers. So that time, if there's any specific dedication prayer that you wish to do for your loved ones, so please do now. O Jawade Nudo Lama Zanje Dubjone Doa Jijamale Bade Zala Gubara Jo Chanju Semjo Rimboje Maje Panam Jeju Jawa Nyamba Mebayang Gone Gondo Pewajo Tony Tawa Rimboje Maje Panam Jeju Jawa Nyamba Mebayang Gone Gondo Pewajo Remie Tawa Rimboje Maje Panam Jeju Jawa Nyamba Mebayang Gone Gondo Pewajo Ekari Rave Kove Shingam Dependan Dewa Mali Juvene Chereze Wan Tenzin Jazoi Shabese de Bado Dangerje, Tumzo Chanjan Jangun Yave, the Zinjo Bebe Kunzu Dobo, Jozon Kove, Lemon to Batazo de Jagundo Shabde. Pamazim Jetamje, Denda Danger Jing and Rotamje Dado, Donda Janju Samba Ganazo Joba de Dagunje Malan to Judge, Semja Neba Jinya Banyo, Donella Dajuju Doven and Amalo. Tado Juma Mebarai Jo. Jawa Gundo Yanda Lama Dada Meju Jepala Monju Sadalam Jayunde Razone Doje Chanjin Kombanyo Dosh. Chizela Mego Zerab de Jenangwa Tele Jojo Jamba Dano Sandembe Dome Sazunje Dove Muzeta Doje Joroje Bedanzo Mike Bishe Novo Pasamje Semje Wakunze Samba Jejen Debe Tajo Jumden de Jabada Jumayanda Bazobezan Namanaze Jabala Chadro Sabazaba Jumakundo Sambola Chadro Tayata Om Pezadia our Budan is on Duru Zamajes. Diadon Bezadia over the nails on the Duru Zamajes or Diadon Bezadia over the nails on Duru Zamajes or Diadon Bezadia over the nails on Duru Zamajes or Diadon Bezadia over the nails on Duru Zamajes or Diadon Bezadia over the nails on Duru Zamajes. Diadon Bezadia over the nails on Duru Zamajes or Diadon Bezadia over the nails on Duru Zamajes or Diadon Bezadia over the nails on Duru Zamajes or Diadon Bezadia over the nails on Duru Zamajes. Jumde de Jabara Jumayanda Bazobezan Yemela Midu Jabala Chatalo Jumde de Jabara Jumayanda Bazobezan. Moda Molada Gerado de Jabona Chazelo, Mejo Seja Jave Jelada Tendelo, Membedamba Jelazanda Medu Namda Membeneg, Do Joroe, Animondele, Sendele, Nimegoyan Delegin in Zendado Dele, Conjo Sumji Tashi. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for your patience and thank you for accumulating so much merit. And please take good care. Take good care of yourself. Take good care of each other in the family and friends around. Okay, see you. Bye bye.